Alright, YouTube model railroaders, we're going to try this again. Video log number 3. Good evening. I'm Ray. Sorry, I'm shifting in the chair here. I'm sitting down here in the train room, obviously. Again, it's a weekly, starting to become a weekly thing. Today was a train show in Timonium, Maryland. Seemed to be a really good turnout out there today. And I went ahead and pardon me, I just had a frog in my throat. Anyway, I went to the train show, and seemed like it was a fairly good turnout. A couple things that kind of concerned me. I didn't see the Maryland and Pennsylvania Historical Society there this year. Didn't see M.B. Klein there this year. I don't even know if M.B. Klein, unfortunately, is still in business, but they weren't. I didn't see them there. As one of the other model railroad, of course, I didn't notice it, but one of the other YouTube model railroaders that went there today noticed that one of the, I guess, structure building people, they're going out of business. They're going to take time off to do family stuff. So, unfortunately, there goes another business that's being lost. But like I said, overall, it seemed like it was a fairly good turnout. I did upload some videos, mainly of some of the HO model railroads that, or modular, HO whatever. Sorry. Some of the modules that were brought in. So I've got those uploaded already. Figured I'd come down here and do a quick vlog because I did go ahead and I did buy something. Of course, I'll probably get laughed at and so on and so forth, but that's okay. It's only going to please me. So, anyway, I picked up this little 8-wheeled trolley car. Yeah, one of the Hoogies it broke in the bag on the way home. Not that that really is a concern to me, but it runs. The problem is it still doesn't run on my trolley line. The reason being is the turns are too tight, and I made some minor modifications to it already, but it's still not going to run across it. The turns are too tight. The one corner, it'll make it across. I think that's like a 10-inch radius. The other corners are way too tight for it, so I'm not going to fool with it anymore. When I rebuild the layout, I'm probably going to either stick with the 10-inch radius or even go back up to 15. I actually do have some 15-inch radius track. In fact, there's actually 15-inch radius track on here that I didn't mention before, but they're in the Beauville yard, the yard lead, or the drill track that goes around the backside of what would be the roundhouse is actually a 15-inch radius corner right before it goes underneath the city. So, yeah, I still have some old 15-inch radius track. But since I brought up the trolley line, I did want to show the two Mantua. Let's do it this way. The two Mantua trolley cars that I have. The upper one, they're both 4-wheel, as you can see. The upper one was my dad's. This one here I picked up on eBay about 5-6 years ago or so. Those are the two that I like to play with. Like I said, they run for a couple minutes and then they stop because of that failed attempt at going ahead and putting in concrete around the trackage, and it's because it's not a standard corner or a standard radius, and that's the reason why I tried it. It didn't work. I won't try it again. Going forward, I'm going to try and keep this a weekly update, even though I'm not really doing a whole lot. I still feel it's somewhat important to go ahead and just kind of get down here, and there are some things I want to show. I was watching Derek Glass's, going through his videos this week, getting caught up on some things, and trust me, folks, I'm going to try and get around to seeing if everybody I've subscribed to. I'm going to go through. I've seen a couple of them, but I want to go through and I want to really see what's out there. I haven't had a chance to really do that yet. I will get around to it. Don't know when, but I will get around to it. But I was watching Derek's rebuild, and it kind of brought something to light that I hadn't thought about, and that's wiring. He's doing DCC, obviously, and I'm still analog. I'm still, 25, 30 years behind everybody else. Uh, which is fine by me. But at any rate, about how to do wiring, and one of the things I happen to think of is, you know what, it'd be kind of cool, since he's done DCC, and I'm sure some other folks have too, it would be, I think, to me, it would be sort of prudent, or even just sort of fun, to show people what I've done underneath the Beauville in Newtown. So, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to probably do that. That'll be one of the things that I'm going to do, is show you how the wiring was done. Even though it's already been completed and everything else, I'm going to have to move some stuff out from underneath the layout and so on and so forth. That's no big deal, but I think it's important, so that way people can see both sides. Because one of the things that concern me, and all the big long-timers and so on and so forth, please don't take this the wrong way, and nobody else take it the wrong way either, but one of the things that I noticed today is, if I'm a newcomer to the hobby, and I go in, and the first thing I see are these beautiful locomotives, Intermountain, MTH, and a couple others. They're DCC, and they're $150, $200, $250, $300 for a locomotive. Eye-opening. Just, to me, just unbelievably eye-opening. When I first started in the hobby, or really got into it, went with my dad, I hate to say this, but we could go to Toys R Us or Two Guys or Corvettes or something like that and pick up, a rail car, or a rail car for under $2. Pick up a locomotive for under 10. Granted, trust me, the detail on those Intermountains and the MTHs is unbelievable. To me, it's almost putting them next to a brass locomotive. Now, granted, it's not brass. The brass still has much more detail, to me, and you can tell that the plastic is plastic. But the details are, trust me, they're beyond comprehension. They're obviously, it's a lot better than anything I've got down here, and I probably ever will have down here. But for the part-timers, for the folks that are, the layout may only come up Thanksgiving to maybe the first, second, third week in January. Are they really going to go out and spend $300 on a locomotive? I wouldn't. I don't. That's the reason why I've got what I've got down here, and one of the reasons why it's a pain in the rear end to keep this stuff going, and it's one of the things that actually came up on another one of the sites that I'm a part of. Somebody was sitting there and within their rights, started bashing some of the other manufacturers, the smaller manufacturers, the Tycos and things of that nature. And granted, trust me, they're right. Compared to Intermountain, MTH, even Bachmann Spectrum, some of that stuff that came from the 70s and 80s is junk. It is. However, if I've got a 5-year-old kid and I'm just trying to get started out, guess what? There's no way in heck I'm going to let him touch a $300 locomotive. Not going to happen. So, but that's the scary thing to me, is the fact that I think some of the newcomers might get scared by the fact that, oh my gosh, I got to shell out $300 for a locomotive. That, no, you don't have to. So, that's another one of my rants. I'm sorry. And like I said, please, the hardliners, the guys that have been in the hobby for a while, the guys that have converted to DCC and so on and so forth in the HO scale, trust me, don't get me wrong. I see where things are headed, and like I said, the details on these things is unbelievable. It's unmatched. But I can't, even sitting here today, I cannot fathom going out and spending $300 on a locomotive. I can't. I can't do it. And I won't do it. At least not right now. Maybe sometime in the near future, if that stuff, and I've said it before, if DCC ever became extremely reasonable to me, which reasonable would be, a locomotive between $75 to $100, and a DCC system that was about the same, to me that would be reasonable. I don't see that happening anytime, within the next couple of years, or the next 6 months for that matter. But, understand that, I've got what I've got. I like what I've got. I take very good care of what's here. not even, it doesn't even matter how much this stuff gets run. Every 6 months, this stuff comes over here to the workbench. At least the locomotives do. Come over here to the workbench. The oil or the grease comes out. The old grease, and I use, unfortunately, the label's worn off. It's Easy Lube. It's put out by Bachmann. It's just a real thin stuff. Just take a little bit of that on a toothpick after I take a rag and clean all the gears up. Put everything back together. Put a little bit of that in there. Put a little bit of oil in the bearings. Done. Most of the stuff that's on the shelf and on the layout will run another 6 months, nice and smooth. Most of it's rather quiet. I couldn't ask for anything more. Come down here, flip the switch, watch trains run. That's just me. Sorry. Trust me, like I said, I like the idea of DCC. I know it's the way of the future. I think it's great that you can sit there and pull up a little controller and type in a number for the locomotive, and all of a sudden the locomotive starts moving. You can press another button that blows the horn, the ditch lights go off, and the bell starts ringing and all that. That's cool. I think it's wonderful. I mean, I watched Eric's video on that one that he had, and I'm just blown away by the sound of the thing. I mean, it's unbelievable. But at the same token, I can't do that. I just can't. So, like I said, that's the end of rant for this week. And I'm sure I'll get all sorts of nasty grams and things of that nature, but that's okay. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash anything. I'm not bashing anybody personally. It's everybody's personal preference. It's just one of the things, like I said, that I still just find a little scary is, the stuff that I'm running today. Is that going to get to the point where it just completely disappears? And the person who's got the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old kid who may not be, extremely rough with stuff, but isn't real careful with stuff either. All of a sudden, they're out there buying a $200 locomotive, and the next thing they know, it's on the floor in pieces. That's the thing that scares me, and I guess that's where sites like eBay and so on and so forth, they'll be around for a while and selling the stuff that I'm using today. So, we'll just have to see where it goes. But I think it's up to us as the model railroading community, especially the HO gaugers, to make sure that somebody who's interested in coming into the hobby understands that there are two facets. There's the starter side, and then there's the extremely detailed side. And what are they really looking for? Obviously you don't want to go jumping feet first into something if you're not really sure that that's what you want to do. So there has to be a happy medium someplace, but I guess that's another story for another time. So, anyway, I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and call it a night. And like I said, I expect to see a firestorm after I go ahead and upload this video. I'm good for it. Hey, you throw anything you got at me. It doesn't, at this point, it's a hobby. It's a bunch of fun to me. There's stuff that I've done on this layout that's, probably never been done before, probably won't be done again. Everybody's got to do stuff by trial and error, because not everybody's going to sit there and look for, hey, I wonder if anybody's actually tried this on the internet. It's like, I'm going to try it, and if it don't work, I won't do it again. So, with that being said, you all have a good week. Wait for the highball and green tracks ahead, and we'll see ya.